You are listening to Eastmans Fly Cast, an adventure fly fishing specific podcast covering travel, tactics, and next level insight. Now your host, Brian Barney.
Well, what do you know?
Not a whole lot. Dumped last night.
Did it?
Yeah. Shoot, we probably got 4 inches.
Oh, dang. It was pitch black outside, but I don't think I saw any on the deck. It started to snow last night a bit.
Yeah, no, we got it. We got it good. And what was wild yesterday was, or 2 days ago, was like 55.
Oh man. 55 is pretty nice. The wind's probably blowing, and whenever it gets warm in Montana in the winter, the wind howls.
Dead ripping. Yeah,
Try to blow your house down.
yeah, absolutely ripping. But I was hoping it was gonna unthaw some stuff. Yeah, that one system I like to fish was just starting to break free, but now with a couple cold days, I'm sure it's gonna be another, spring. So nope, yeah, but it gets getting back to the 40s. Did some work the other day, so that was nice. And yeah, but now Jeannie's got the Rona.
Ah, that's too bad. Is that what you had too?
Yeah, yep. And dude, it's so weird. When you lose your smell and your sense of smell and taste. Oh my God, it's like it really puts in perspective how little you need to eat. Like sometimes I just say eat for fun, I think, because stuff tastes good. Like now when you can't taste anything, it's like I don't need anything to eat. Like I can go days now with no food. God.
What's the point?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's so brutal. But yeah, no, it sucks. I was hoping she made it through without getting it, but no, I had to drive her in last night. She's like, yeah, I'm not feeling quite right. And big thing, with the baby and stuff, you just gotta know, so the docs and everything can tell you what to do or whatever. So
Man, that's too bad. They get her on any preemptive treatment or anything?
we go in today, and so that we can get ahead of it instead of try and play catch up. So I guess we'll figure it out today and what we need to do or what she needs to get on. So yeah.
Man, that's too bad, but she's so healthy. She'll kick that thing in a few days.
Yeah, I think so too. God, I hope she kicks. It doesn't have exactly what I had when I had it. Oh my God, dude, I was wrecked for the first 4 days. I had chills and sweats, and I was ruined. It literally took me it was legitimate 10, 12 days to get over it. Like this weekend was the first days I was feeling right, God, I couldn't believe it. And that's why I was so pissed off. It's like, gosh, usually it's like I get sick and like you said, it's just a couple days, but no, it took me a minute to get rid of it. But I snuck out and did some fishing last Thursday, so that was probably good for the soul. That's probably what got me on the mend.
No doubt, yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's wild. It is a nasty bug, and it's weird how different strains of stuff can affect you differently. And I think it's gone through. Well, I know it's gone through our house. I'm not sure how many times. They say you can only get it once, at least. I heard that, but I don't know if you can catch the different strains or what. I know you build some immunity once you've had it. But yeah, it's I know it's been through our house, and I know I don't get headaches or anything. I know the headache with that deal was just brutal there. And usually sicknesses don't knock me down to where I got to be on the couch, but I was definitely on the couch for a couple days for that deal. And talked to Dan, he got it the same time you did.
Yeah,
So yeah, I mean, we were gonna head up to his place and fish the Missouri up there, and both of you guys came down with it at the same time, but it hit him pretty hard too.
Yeah, he sent me a text and that's what he said. But yeah, just brutal. But yeah, no, they say you can only get it once, but I think I've got the old natural immunity for all the strands at this point. So
yeah, you should be good to go. You're good to travel. Yeah, brutal, but at least you made it through, and hopefully Jeannie can get through it. It's weird. She caught it so much later after you had it.
I know. That's what's so weird. That just makes me wonder how long I could have caught it before I actually had symptoms and stuff, because it's we both thought that she was going to be fine. It's probably 10 days or so. Cause I mean, those first few days I was like locked down in the basement. So I don't know, just kind of wild, but no,
Yeah.
yeah, she's got it. At least that's what they say at the hospital. So
Yeah. Well, hopefully she heals up quick. You went
yeah,
fishing Thursday when you were half sick, huh?
yeah. I went and dipped my toes in a spring creek for a little bit, and it was pretty fun. It was one of those deals where I wasn't really expecting much, so I was like, and it was pretty cold. Uh, and so I go out there and it's all sight fishing. Like it literally is sight fishing for these big fish. I mean, there's some big fish in there. And, there's usually some super mega fish, but there were some really good ones. And, so I tied on, a small, like parachute Adams. And then I dropped back an emerger, like a soft hackle emerger, and caught a few decent fish, and then I finally found a really good one, and I caught it and landed it and put it on the net, and it was just shy of 25, but such a hard fighting fish. It was so sweet, but yeah, no, it was nice to get out and do a little fishing, but then I went down and did a float with Trev, and we thought it was going to be, you know, dynamite, the same dates as always, and but it was a little bit colder leading up to it, and it was a grind. I mean, we caught, I don't know, a dozen or so fish, and they were good fish. They were really nice fish, but for some reason I don't know, conditions were pretty good. Like it just was one of those days that was tough, and tried everything. I mean, we threw the kitchen sink at them, but no, caught some nice fish. I mean, it was one of those deals where it's like we expected it to be good, and it was. I mean, it wasn't, but just had to make the decision to stick with it and just play for the next one, And he ended up catching some. He caught a few really nice fish, 21, 22, and I didn't touch anything that good, but it was just fun to figure them out. Did a little nymphing and stuck a couple, but yeah, it was weird. The chase wasn't on, and the one thing that I did that I ended up catching some fish instead of my downstream, quartering downstream or a little more perpendicular retrieve. I was thinking they were moving so slow because the water temp down low was like 40, 39. It just depended on where you checked it. So it was chilly, but I started casting quartering downstream and bringing it across like slow. I mean, it's like strip, like, I mean, super slow. And then when it would tilt and start coming upstream, that's where I'd get fish to eat. So it was kind of goofy. It was like
almost on the swing.
Almost on the swing. Yeah. And it was like, so they could just probably track it just enough, but they're all back hook, on that articulated bug. They're all hooked on that back hook. It was like 0 head eats on that streamer. It was just different. It was goofy. So I just don't know. I think that water might have just been a touch chilly for those big bugs, but also it's low too. So it could really, they could be, I mean, we fished the middle trench too a bunch, but I don't know, just different, but stuck with it. And it turned out to be a half decent day, but not like any of those, 40 fish type days on that river can throw out. So
God dang it, we've just killed it on that system, yeah. Well, and sometimes I think you just catch an off day, too. Like, I've noticed it this winter, like going down and fishing these good holes that I like, that, sometimes I can fish it for a week and fish it 3 afternoons, and, I may eke out 3, 4 fish or something like that, and then I'll just hit a day where that thing goes off, and fishing the same hole, I see 7, 8, 9, and some giant fish, and I've ran a bunch of different bugs through it. It's like all of a sudden they just eat. It's just right. The timing's there, So could be something like that. Could be cold, but man, we fished that system so cold. I know I fished that system with you. It's just freezing, but it has been a cold year leading up to that. So maybe those water temps are just a touch colder. I don't remember what the temp was when we fished it last year. If it was
42.
42, that's what I thought. 42 seems to be the line for eating those things.
Yep. Nope. I think you're right. And gosh, you just never know when that sun comes out though, and it could just warm it up a little bit. Or I've noticed sometimes when that sun comes out on that system, those fish will move onto that sunny side bank when it is a little bit colder and into that a little bit shallower water. And gosh, I had some days doing that, and I mean, air temp way cooler, but still those fish just, I feel like, would soak up some sun, but I couldn't even find them on that sort of stuff. I always call it the hot rocks, it's like that skinny edge where that sun just bakes on it.
I like
But
that, the hot rocks.
yeah, and gosh, we couldn't even get them off of that. But no, I don't know. The weather's supposed to warm up and stay pretty consistent. I mean, I wish we could get some more snow, but if it's gonna stay warm, I mean, I guess go fish it. But yeah, it's supposed to stay. Next 10 days are supposed to be pretty darn nice. So I have to just make another run at it, I guess. It's too good a fishing, or it's one of those deals. Historically, it's been too good to give up on it.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's been too good to give up on it. You mentioned fishing that soft tackle. Gosh, I used to do good on soft tackle back in the day, and I've kind of got away from using those bugs. I need to get back into swinging those soft tackle. What's like your favorite color on that thing and size you like?
So on that little Spring Creek, it was a size 18, and it was kind of, I want to say it's like a Baetis imitation almost. I can't even tell you what the name of the bug is, but
like
it's
light green or something.
Yep. Body was super light green. And that hackle was kind of like a real soft tan.
Oh, really?
Yep. And it had
Okay.
like a collar on it. It's like a soft hackle collar, no bead, and I mean, it was sweet, like super sweet. I have a few of them, and I think I bought them. God, I bought them. I didn't tie them, but I had them from a long time ago, and I hadn't fished them for a while. But I had noticed that these fish, they were eating emergers, and so with that soft hackle, it kind of sits in the film, without that bead head, and yeah, they totally left that tiny little parachute Adams alone. But gosh, they smacked that soft hackle that was just, sitting right in the film. It's not really sitting surface. It's just right underneath the surface. And yeah, they just were sipping that thing. And no, it was a great bug. What do you like? What kind of soft hackles do you like?
Back in the day, I used to do really good off like this pink one, and usually I'd run like a size 16 scud hook.
Mm-hmm.
And I tie like a different pink, like there's some different pink colors, but I tie it pink, and then I tie like a white and black collar around it or hackle around
Okay.
it, and
Yeah.
then it kind of moves in the water. And really, you'd catch them on that thing, and I'd fish them instead of fishing them with dries, I'd fish them with nymphs and just fish them as a trailer bug. And it was just something that just used to light them up. I used to always catch fish off that thing. And you'll catch it like at the end of your drift too, where it starts floating up to the surface and things. And, thinking about that, like fishing even the Madison the last few days with midge coming off and things, or the last couple weeks, I have been seeing fish come to the surface, and I know they're not eating surface bugs because I know, where they eat the midge, they eat them like in that dead soft water on the edges. Like this has been, in the heat of the run, like right in like the faster water. But I've been seeing fish come up, and I bet you they're eating, bugs in that film like you're talking about. So I don't know. I think I need to get back to it. I've got a handful of different soft hackle in my box. I think I just need to start fishing them more. So I do have some green ones, like a light green color, like the one you're talking about. Gosh, I may have some black in there or something, but my go-to was always that pink.
Yeah. Huh. No, and it's so funny because, talking about it, I used to fish them like in the summertime and a good caddis hatch and stuff like that. I used to I would basically swing them through like the front edge of like where you can see a pot of fish working on those caddis. And gosh, they're so effective. And then when I went up north 2 years ago, that's the only thing those fish would eat was those soft hackles. But it's like I don't know. I just got away from it. Now talking about it, it's like, God dang, they are so effective. And like when in the summer, when those caddis come off, I mean, you know how they skate? Those caddis will skate around the top of the surface and those fish will just come up and crush them. I would tie on like a size 14 caddis on the front, and I would put on one of those soft hackles on the back. And I mean, I would trail it by like 2 feet, and I would stand above those fish that were coming up and eating those caddis dries or emergers. It was usually at the beginning of the hatch is when I would get them the best on that emerger, or, you know, emerger or soft hackle. And I would throw it down in front of them and kind of mend it upstream, and then give it that just like tickle of your rod tip, you know, and swing it kind of across them like it was a skating caddis. So it kind of probably, you know, the soft hackle in the back was like acting as an emerger, and then that caddis in front was kind of as it, you know, pops coming off and then skating. And I would probably get more, well, I would get more on those soft hackles than I did on the dry. But just thinking about that, you know, midges, like you were saying, coming off on these tailwaters and whatnot, it would be, I need to go back to getting some more of those soft hackles and start using them like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna tie some more up. So like when you're fishing them on the surface there, you can probably see your caddis on the surface. It's floating, and you probably can't see that bug real well. You just know it's within a couple feet of your lead fly. And so when you see a fish break surface and you set on it, is that how you fish it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how I was doing on that Spring Creek was I was almost using that front dry as an indicator. So, you know, they'd eat that soft hackle in the back and it would dunk that front fly. So basically almost like a dry dropper rig. I mean, sometimes if it was close, you could kind of see it, so you had a good idea. But yeah, that's basically how I was doing it.
Hmm. Yeah, I always fish it
Yeah.
with the nymph setup, like almost weighted, like with a split shot BB, to have it follow like a pheasant tail or prince or a rubber leg or something like that, and then
Yeah.
just fish it like a nymph. And they still seem to eat it even down off the bottom. You know, they really like it at the end of your drift, but yeah,
Okay.
and they seem to eat it. And you know, I haven't tied on a soft hackle. It's been too long. I know that. I just gotta rummage through my box and find a couple and start fishing them, and then get on the vise again, because those things are so effective.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when your nymphs and stuff are washing around down there, that collar, you know, just kind of probably pulses and everything, just giving it that live action. It's like, yeah, that's a good point. I need to get a few more out too, because I don't know, that's just you go away from certain things after a while. You kind of get in a groove and a rhythm, and you just leave things behind. But God, who knows? You pull that out, and you might catch a handful more 2-footers like you've been doing.
Oh man, dude, it's been so good. That one you caught, that one that was just shy of 25. Was that a big
Hmm.
rainbow?
Big rainbow,
Uh
yeah,
huh.
stacked, yeah, super stacked, and that
Dude,
fish fought so hard.
that's what I was gonna say. It's like I can't help, like, I love all fly fishing, and but I just, there's something that gets me so excited on those next level fish. It's just I think it's, you know, I love catching them, so I'm really excited when I hook into them, and they're rare when they get that big. You know, at least for us, they start getting into that next level, that 22 to 25 or whatever. God, they're big fish, but then they fight so hard, and so you've got to use like all your fighting knowledge and fighting skill to be able to land them. And I mean, God, you got to get in the water with them, and you're just like looking at this huge fish in the water that you're trying to ease over to your net, you know, but man, I've been into some 5 to 10 minute battles on those things. Those fish are gonna bust guys' rods this summer. There's like no way they're gonna be able to hang on to those things. They're just unreal fighters, and that's what gets me charged up. You know, I think everybody has different motivation for going out, and I don't have to catch one of those to have a good day or to enjoy myself or anything. But I love the challenge of trying to find those next level fish, because man, are they fun to hook and to fight and then to land. And I love, like, just bathing with them a little bit. You know, we release all of them, but
Hmm.
just seeing them in the net, and they're so, like, their bodies are so thick, like their backs are so thick, and then they're so tall, that they're just like Jurassic fish, they're just 4 to 7 pound fish that are just absolutely unreal. And just looking at them in the net and getting to hold them before you release them just for those few seconds bathing with them, it's like, man, that is one hell of a trout. Like, we are so fortunate to be able to fish trout like that. Like, that's steelheading to me. When you can catch them in their 24 inches, they fight so hard. And then, steelheading, they're a fish of 1,000 casts. And so, we get them pretty good, and some days you get them better than others. But even a good day is to hook one fish. And like, when you really get into good trout fishing, like, man, the other day, I think I landed like 4 over 21 and 3 over 22. Like, it was just insane, It was as good as it gets, man. God dang it, those things are fun.
Oh my gosh, yeah, and they're just built different. You get into those 24, 25, 26. Those fish are just absolutely built different. Like, it had been a little bit since I've touched a fish over 24, and he's just like a brick, and it's like, and the way that he moved in the water, it's like he just had different gears, and it was just ripping around. And granted, I was on a small creek, but oh my gosh, I was spinning circles trying to land him. And then it's like, right when you think you got him tuckered out, you better get down on, like, that's the one thing I didn't do initially, and he went on another run. Like, get down on a knee, so they don't really see you totally to net him. Because, God, I was standing there and I arms stretched back trying to net him, and just zzz, just off again. But no, you're right. We are pretty fortunate, because fishing for those kind of fish is just, you don't get them all the time, but gosh, when you do, you don't forget them.
Yeah, you almost can't surprise them with the net. You've got to fight them until they're tuckered out, until they give up and come to the surface, and you can get their head to the surface. But before that, you can have them right next to you pulling as hard as you can on your rod, and there's no netting them down there. Like, you have to wear those fish out. Like, there's no netting them early or surprising them or anything. And, yeah, just so hot. I mean, even with cold water, I mean, one of those fish I hooked, he must have been out of the water 5, 6, 7 times. Just crazy acrobatics, and then just like you said, some hard runs. And been fighting them a lot more rod tip down too. Even though you get that water drag, that fish has got to pull that line around with them, But it's so fun when you see that fish come out of the water and like your line's almost trailing behind him, Just been unreal, yeah. That the fishing these good systems off season. It's just so money. And the Madison has been tough. There's been ice flowing down nearly daily because it gets so cold upriver that you got slush ice and you just can't fish. And then, the slush ice, if you get a warm 40-degree day, it'll burn off, depending on how cold it got the night before, but burn off in the afternoon, open up the river a little bit to fishing, and then close up again. And then it's just been tough, too. We had that. It seems like we've had so much cold around that those ice shelves go so far out into the water, and they're actually covering up like a lot of the wintertime holding water, because that's like a lot of the slower water where those fish want to be. They don't want to be like in the heat of that run. They want to be, towards the end, towards the tail out, or towards the edges on those seams and in that soft water, and it's all been covered by ice shelf. So it's definitely been challenging fishing, just trying to dial them in. But man, oh man, there is a size and an age class of fish that are sitting in that river right now that just blow my mind. And I've caught those fish before, but to catch them consistently like that, like a bunch of big 24s consistently, like has been crazy insane. So I can't wait to see what the rest of spring brings. And I think we got to fish this thing really hard. I think another factor too that's playing into it is we had that gorge ice that stacks up from the lake and starts freezing. And I was never sure how it displaces fish, or, and I think that lower river, I think that gorge ice really messes with the brown spawn, as I haven't been catching as many browns down lower on the system. But I walked down into the gorge ice the other day, which is really dangerous. I mean, it's like 4 to 6 feet, 8 feet of ice shell, like built up ice and snow and frozen crap on the sides, and then it goes right out to the deep part of the river, and there's cracks and big crevasses in it and stuff that you're wading around. It's like it's a little sketchy to go down into it. But I've messed around in it enough, and I really wanted to get down to one of the best holes in the Madison, and there's a couple of them down there, and I thought, God, I'm just gonna kill them today. And I got down there, and the gorge ice went so far into the river, and I did find some good seams and some good places to fish, but man, it was a ghost town down in there. And so, like, one of my theories is I think this gorge ice is pushing all those fish all the way from the lake up into the upper stretches of the river, and so like I think maybe there's more of them, more condensed, like up above that gorge ice or whatever. But yeah, you got to be careful right now. There's not many put-ins and pull-outs and icy river, and really nobody fishing. It's been cold, but man, it's just been dynamite. Like if we don't go steelheading this weekend, we should definitely hit it up and target those fish. And if not this weekend, like definitely this spring, because there is an age class of fish in there like that just is unreal. Like you remember we fished it last year, and it was insanely good fishing in the springtime when you came over and we fished it, and we caught. I mean, I don't know how many fish we caught, 100 fish or something like that, but it was like the biggest fish we saw, like by my memory, like we never got any great big ones. Like you caught a decent brown that was about 19, and then I think like the biggest rainbows, even though we caught a ton of them, there was a good age class, but they were like around 19 to 21, I say was our biggest.
Yep, I would agree. Yeah.
And this year, like the amount of fish that I've caught that are in between 21 to 25, it's been unreal, So I think there's like this age class of fish that are really growing up, and I heard that last summer too with the browns, and I even tied into a couple of them. Charlie's wife caught a big 24 last year, and like my uncle caught like a great big 23, 24, like a great big one. But I heard of guys and saw a lot of photos of big browns in that age class too. So I think the river is like really healthy right now, and there's like this different age class of fish, and dude, they're gonna bust so many guys' rods this summer because they fight so hard. Like it's just it is tying into a steelhead, or it dang near feels like it, but just in for the fight of my life trying to land those things. So we really got to focus on this thing, and there's a bunch of good systems around with those type of fish, but yeah, right now it's fishing healthy.
Cool. Yeah, no, and I think, that's interesting about your theory on the gorge ice. I believe in that sort of thing. Like there's stretches of some rivers around here that, the lower half freezes completely, but for some reason, always this time of year, you get into a more condensed population of good fish, and you're probably, I like the theory. I think you're dead on. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. I mean, those fish aren't going to want to be down in that water when it's all froze up and all that gorge, that ice from the bottom builds up, and it's like, yeah, that's interesting. I like that. But no, I'm with you. After seeing those fish, it's like, yeah, we should go spend some days on that thing. Good Lord. Those fish you've been catching are absolutely next level. Oh my God.
Well, and if you're catching those, there's got to be bigger around too. And the tough thing is like I think the last time we did the podcast, we were talking about swinging for those big fish and swinging those streamers. Man, I could not, like I caught, I hooked 5 the one day on it and 3 another day on it. And then it's actually like, I think it's warmer conditions than it was. I haven't touched a fish on a streamer in so long. Like, I don't know. I ran into a kid at the parking lot the other day, and he said he caught one off like a sparkle minnow or something. But, man, I've been showing up, and I've been really disciplined of fishing these runs and swinging them before I get in there with my nymph setup and swinging through them and different colors and things. I haven't touched one. And you'd think those big fish would be grabby after that thing. And even, like, I'll swing through it a couple times and then go to nymphing. And then, like, I took my dad down there the other day. He actually caught 2 really nice browns. He caught one about 19 and one about 21. So I hadn't been catching many browns, so that was a good sign to see those. And we didn't catch any of those meglas. Like, it's like some days you just don't tie into them. I caught maybe one or two that were around that 20 to 21 that fought really hard, that were great fish that I was super happy with, but nothing in that next level, which is like, I know they're laying out there, but
Yeah.
it's wild. I can run those streamers through there and not touch a single one of those things. Like they turned off it for some reason. So I'm going to keep with it, keep bringing my swing rod down and even my single hander and pumping it through there, and they'll turn on it eventually. But yeah, it's totally turned off on the swing.
Huh, that's wild. But yeah, like you said, once it turns on, it'll feel like every single one of them are grabbing it. But gosh, you can't complain when you're getting them with nymphs that good. That makes it fun. Are they all sitting at the back end and the tail out?
The Madison doesn't have a lot of that tail out water, So, and actually, like I've kind of been getting them like in the big holes for sure. But not really in that tail out water. There just isn't much of it in the Madison. It seems like they're more like on the inside seams and things in kind of that soft water.
Okay.
It seems like more so than the tail outs. Now, I haven't been able to explore a bunch. I've just been wade fishing. I haven't floated it yet. I really want to float it. Like when you come up, we'll go float it, some sections of it, and see if we can find them. And to tell you the truth, it's like hit or miss. I need you to get down here and team up and really go hard, especially if we get a whole day with the ice off or something like that, because I know there's a lot of fish around, but I've been striking out like a lot of the good holes that are usually good to me. I walk down there and then they're all covered by ice shelf. I can't even get to where the fish like to lay, or so it's definitely been challenging trying to get them, and it and you just have this time window of like an hour or two in the afternoon. So you come up with a theory. Oh, walk down and hit this hole and then walk down there, and both of those holes are covered by ice shelves, or the fish aren't in there. So it's kind of been hit or miss. But I do have some spots that have been producing, and it just continue to want to theorize and explore, and like, God, where are all these fish? Where are all these big ones sitting? I know I can get them out of these couple holes. This is where I've caught some big ones, and again, it can be hit or miss down there, but I know there's a bunch of big fish in this system. Like, if me and you could just have 6 to 8 hours to explore and a boat to go down, like, oh my God, dude, we might bust our own rods down there. Like, it's pretty good fishing. All these systems in the off season are good fishing, and same thing, with like a lot of these rivers I fish. Like, I've got a river that I'm going to fish really hard this year. So you fished the system with me in the springtime, and we killed them when we went down. I called that one place Evil Island because there was so many big fish sitting in there. But there's crowds in there, and I love that brown trout fishery or whatever, but there's a new section of that river that I want to fish, and I've gone way low on that thing and fished it all the way down low and caught decent brown sitting in there. But I think where the big ones are sitting are like above the lake.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, there's a section of river up there where I think there's some big ones sitting in there, and it gets hardly zero pressure. And I just started remembering back in the day fishing that and catching some really nice fish through that section. And like, God, how come I never go back there, never tried again? So this spring I'm going to explore that a little bit. The access is a little bit tougher, but nobody fishing it. And, of course, you got to stay within high water. There's no floating it. It's a smaller system, but I want to go up and fish above that reservoir. I think there's some giants up and through there, and I want to learn that section a little bit better this spring. But that section, I mean, I fished the big hole bunch with my dad. God, it's iced over, I know, right now and in the spring, but it'll clear off. And and you fished that system a bunch as well, and we fished it together. And it's just, there's a bunch of great ones. The Beaverhead, the Big Hole, the Jefferson is great. Like the Jefferson is like less pressure on that system. There's some big fish. Me and Dad got it one really good day last year on it. Just want to really explore around this spring as ice starts to come off. Just a bunch of great systems around. I know you got a bunch around you as well.
Yeah, no, it is fun to explore and theorize and try and transpose, different different tactics to different rivers, and it's fun to do that. And no, there's just so many places to go fish. It's like, God dang. And then it's like, if you start getting, I feel like I've always every spring, like last year we got the Yellowstone, you know what I mean? So it's like we stuck to that, and it's like, I feel like you pick a couple rivers every spring or winter, and if you stick to them, then you start to figure them out, and you get them. So it's like, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe we need to switch it up just a little bit and go explore some new water too. It's like, but yeah, we're pretty fortunate in Montana. I mean, gosh, the amount of rivers. I mean, you just listed off about 8, 9 of them. It's like that have great fish, and it's like, God, or we're just spoiled when it comes to that. But yeah, no, the Jeff, I used to love fishing that. I feel like it has a little bit lower fish pop, but gosh, what a fun river, and there's some channels you don't want to turn down because you don't return back to the river and stuff. I mean, it's an adventure, but yeah, I haven't been over there in forever, and I used to love fishing that.
We better look. You got the weekend to fish this weekend, don't you? You were saying?
Yep.
Yeah. Might have to make a steelhead run, dude. It's looking at over there. It looks like that weather's gonna be. It looks like it's up in the 40s, and then like it looks like tonight the low's 31. Tomorrow the low is 35. That's during night. The high is 41, 40. It's holding 40 degrees, pretty steady over there.
Yeah.
I'll make a call over to my contacts and see how that thing is fishing. We might have to make a run over there this weekend. But yeah, there's some other trips like what else looks like an absolute riot is fishing those flats for redfish. Like
yes.
I have always wanted to do that and never really looked into it too much. Like there's talking to my buddy Steve that lives down there in Texas. Like he wants to get a boat and get set up, and he does a bunch of fishing and has connections down there. But they come in the flat to the ocean down there. He says Louisiana has some giant ones, but even like Texas, they have some great fishing, and they're fishing those flats for tailing reds and things. Like, there's so many of these big adventures I want to do, like down in the jungle or down in New Zealand. Like when they open up, like we've got to go do that. But like there's so much stuff like right around us, like steelheading on the Olympic Peninsula, or fishing for reds down in Texas. Like, how nice would it be when it's all cold right now to like load up all our gear and me and you head down there in the springtime? And even, you got to have a boat, so, we either meet a connection down there, but even like splitting a guide boat for a few days between us isn't that big a deal. Like, when you look over the grand scheme of things, like maybe it's $500 a guide day, split between two guys, $250 a piece, well, shit, I'd go down there and spend $1,000 to go fishing for a week down there for redfish and have the boat and have the guide that's all dialed on it or whatever. It'd be super fun. Like, I think it'd be one of those do-it-yourself adventures that me and you can put together and do for about, like, maybe, since we've got to hire a guide and have a boat. I really like the wade fishing stuff and stuff that you can figure out on your own. And there is some wade fishing down there, but I think, we're not going to get the true experience unless we just go out on a boat and go get them. But I mean, I really think like $1,500 to $2,000 to go down and be in the sunshine in Texas down on the coast fishing for redfish down there. I think would be money for you and I.
Yeah, it doesn't sound too bad at all. Yeah, the guy that owns the fly shop here in town, he went down to Louisiana a couple weeks ago, and good Lord, the fish, those reds that he caught, oh my gosh, absolute hammers. But that would be, I'm in. That would be fun. That'd be a lot of fun.
God, we just gotta plan it and bank on it. It's like God, life just moves by really fast. The years just click off and click off and click off, and you got all these big things, or me and you do, like, and I think everybody out there, these big things that you want to go do, but you almost just got to pull the trigger, just plan it and go, okay, we're going this year. Here's the deal. I'm going to put together the logistics, and it's a United States adventure, and so me and you can do it on the cheap. We can take a truck down, split gas. Sure, grab a hotel room here or there when we're down there. I don't know if it's nice weather, like me and you can camp about anywhere, right? And so, like,
Yeah.
probably just camp out and do it on the cheap and live like a fish hippie down there and go catch some of those things, dude. It'd be the experience of a lifetime.
Yeah, no, I would pull the trigger on that in a heartbeat. I'd go next week. Good Lord, it's cold here. Yeah, the sun sounds pretty good.
Isn't that the truth? Yeah, I wouldn't mind looking at it this spring. It would be a nice getaway, wouldn't it? It'd be like,
Yeah.
especially when we're just over winter, like around March or so, and just go, heck, let's just shoot down there and do 5-6 days down there and put something together. I'll start looking into it and see if we can put something together. That would be fun.
Yeah, no, it definitely would. And like you said, I mean, quote unquote out the back door. It's in the United States. I mean, how easy is that? It's like, yeah, just jet down. And the other thing is too, it's like another adventure we got to do is go to the White, go to the White, and that would be just as easy, So yeah,
God, isn't that the truth? That White, man, those guys get some fish out of that thing. It's just crazy, some of the fish they see.
Yep. And in a different way than how we get to see them, at night, mouse pattern, stuff like that. So it's like, yeah, we just need to, draw up the logistics of the deal and just pull the trigger and start doing these things, especially these easy ones that are, inside the old continental U.S. I mean, that's about as easy as it gets for us. So,
gosh, it is. And we're so seasoned, with the United States traveling just from all our bow hunting we do and traveling to these other states that, we've been able to experience some pretty wild stuff in these other places. So we're really dialed on the travel of being able to get there and really dialed on the camp. Like it's our rule with when we're going hunting, we never sleep in hotels ever. Like it's always, it doesn't matter how cold it is. It can be 0 degrees. It can, whatever it is, we've got all the stuff to be able to survive and camp out. But even the drive down, like, man, I've slept in some wild places. Usually I can find some public land that we can throw out a cowboy bedroll and sleep out. But yeah, I mean, I've slept in parking lots, truck stops, just about anywhere you can sleep, but it's kind of our rule. We don't spend any money on hotels ever, which makes traveling pretty cheap for guys like us.
Oh yeah, a lot of parking lots. Get away from the lights. Yeah.
That's totally it. Get away from the lights. It's even nicer when you can find like a little bit of public, away from the highway where you don't have a bunch of noise. Man, I sleep good out in that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. No. Sounds good.
Yeah, well, right on, man. Yeah, let's try to put together a trip this weekend, whether we're fishing here or make a run over and try to go catch some steelhead. So, yeah, let's go have some fun. But good on you getting over your sickness. Hopefully you can get Jeannie all healed up so we can so she feels better. And, keep after it here. The winter's going to go by pretty quick, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, it is. I mean, gosh, a couple months and we're dang near out of it. It's like, yeah, the off season. Actually, I mean, we still have some really, really good fishing in front of us. But yeah, winter's going to be gone before we know it. So
yeah,
might as well soak it up for a little longer.
Yeah. Well, thanks a bunch, buddy. I'm sure we'll catch up soon and do a little fishing and see if we can't hook into one of those 25s.
Cool. Right on.
All right.